Well, they certainly were not in it for the fame and fortune. Hey guys, it's Phoebe with WatchMojo. Today we're taking a look at the top 10 celebs who left fame behind.
A Welsh rabbit with a poached egg on top, please. Not too runny. And bacon.
We're taking a look at celebrities who willingly walked away from fame to pursue other passions or to live a life away from the spotlight. Let's get to it. Number 10, Daniel Day-Lewis. Day-Lewis has always remained very private and introverted.
Louder, Daniel! I am a sinner!
I am a sinner.
I am sorry, Lord.
I am sorry, Lord.
I want the blood.
I want the blood.
You have abandoned your child.
I've abandoned my child.
Far from the bright lights of Hollywood or London, the actor has lived in the quiet Irish village of Animo for the last 20+ years. He's also known for taking extended breaks between films, like the 5-year gap between Lincoln and Phantom Thread.
I can't accomplish a goddamn thing of any human meaning or worth until we cure ourselves of slavery and end this pestilential war.
However, the latter will supposedly be Day-Lewis's last, as he announced his retirement in June of 2017, offering no reason aside from the fact that, quote, the impulse to quit took root in him, and that he, quote, wanted to explore the world in a different way. That said, some people believe it was attributed to depression, as he was stated to have, quote, great sadness.
Do you like it?
I do.
Number 9, Dylan Sprouse. One half of the Sprouse twins, the child actors famous for their roles in Big Daddy and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Dylan and his brother Cole have enjoyed steady acting work nearly their entire lives.
Why can't you drive us to the playground?
Because I have to rehearse new choreography for my next show. Mr. Mosby thinks I need some younger moves.
But while Cole landed the role of Jughead on Riverdale and starred in the 2019 film 5 Feet Apart, Dylan has taken a radically different path in life.
It's been a quiet few months in Riverdale. Spring slid into summer, and some semblance of normal life resumed.
In 2011, Dylan began studying video game design at the Gallatin School of Individualized Study, graduating in 2015. 3 years later, he opened the All Wise Meadery in Brooklyn.
I started having to convince everybody that mead was a thing, and then Matt tried the mead that I was making, and now we are convincing everybody mead is a thing. Pretty much. So, yeah.
He's also dabbled in acting throughout the years, albeit in smaller, intimate projects. Nothing like the big mainstream work he used to do. Number 8, Freddie Prinze Jr. In the late 90s and early 2000s, you couldn't walk into a movie theater without seeing this guy's face plastered on a movie poster or 6. That changed sometime around 2004, right after the release of Scooby-Doo 2.
My fault, too. We all know how Shaggy and Scooby can be. But it's all right. We just need to stay strong, in control, and work fast.
It was around then that he transitioned to voice work, an industry he has remained in ever since. You may have heard his voice in Mass Effect 3 or Star Wars Rebels.
Who are you?
I'm the guy who was stealing that crate.
Hey, look, I stole this stuff. Whatever it is, fair and square.
And you made it pretty far, but I've got plans for that crate.
It's still acting work, just not the kind that attracts the paparazzi. However, Prinze Jr. has focused his attention in other fields as well. He co-wrote a cookbook with Rachel Wharton and served as a producer and director for the WWE. Yes, really.
First of all, Booker, that's not a claim, that's a fact. And there are people in this room, in that ring right now that can attest to it.
Number 7, Jack Gleeson. You may not know Jack Gleeson by name, but you certainly know his face. His oh-so-once punchable face.
Don't you think we ought to do something about it?
That's right, Joffrey Baratheon. Gleeson earned renown and acclaim for playing the slimy Baratheon, Lannister child, but it seems like acting wasn't for him.
Killed a few puppies today?
Show him. Come on, show him.
Gleeson announced his retirement after wrapping up Game of Thrones, telling Entertainment Weekly that he had stopped enjoying it and didn't want to turn it into a lifelong career. He subsequently studied theology and philosophy at Dublin's Trinity College, and now lives a quiet, normal life in the city.
Killing you would send your brother a message. But my mother insists on keeping you alive.
Number 6, Mara Wilson. 90s kids will undoubtedly remember Mara Wilson as that adorable little actress from movies like Mrs. Doubtfire and Matilda.
This is Natalie.
Oh, hello, Natalie.
Are you wearing bug spray?
Oh,
Maddie.
oh, it's quite all right, dear. No offense taken. I was a little liberal with the atomizer.
Unfortunately, Wilson quickly grew disillusioned with the prospect of acting and the fame that came with it. In a 2012 blog post, Wilson addressed the various reasons for her early retirement, including the lack of creative freedom, the ridiculous celebrity aspect, and the dehumanizing audition process.
Daddy, you're a crook.
What?
This is illegal.
Yeah, keep drilling. Do you make money? Do you have a job?
No, but don't people need good cars? Can't you sell good cars, Dad?
And while she has left acting behind, she's still in the creative fields. She's lent her voice to BoJack Horseman and the famous podcast Welcome to Night Vale, and she's written both a book and a play. The latter was performed at the New York International Fringe Festival in 2013.
But before you fold the omelet, I'd like the chef to hold the pan up and whisper his, or her, dreams into it.
Number 5, Gene Hackman. A legend long before he played Little Bill Daggett in Unforgiven, a role that earned him a BAFTA, Oscar, and a Golden Globe, Gene Hackman is notoriously private and rarely gives interviews.
I says, give me over your pistol. I ain't drunk. Ordinance says you got to turn in your firearms to the county office, day or night.
Perhaps he sees no need, or maybe he just doesn't want to. Regardless, during one such rare interview with Larry King in 2004, Hackman announced he would be retiring.
Let me bust one! I want to bust! I want to bust! Let me talk to him! Let me talk to him! You got a friend here, buddy! You got a friend!
This left 2004's Welcome to Mooseport, a political satire in which he co-starred with Ray Romano, as his final film, save a piece of narration for a Smithsonian documentary. Since then, he's focused on writing and has published 2 novels as a solo writer, Payback at Morning Peak and Pursuit.
Some guy's following me. Who? I don't know. It has something to do with the assignment last week.
Number 4, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is one of the most popular actresses of our time, as her movies have collectively grossed over $7 billion at the worldwide box office. And yet she walked away from it all because the constant traveling was wearing her out. Diaz's final role was that of Miss Hannigan in 2014's Annie. Since 2014, she's written a health book called The Longevity Book and invested in various health-based startups. She's also settled down with a family.
Diaz married Good Charlotte's Benji Madden in 2015, and they welcomed their first child, a daughter named Radix, in December of 2019.
Are you scared? And I'd be like, what? Of what? And they're like, are you scared you're gonna turn 40? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm excited about 40. What? Should I be scared?
Number 3, Frankie Muniz.
My name is Malcolm. You want to know what the best thing about childhood is? At some point, it stops.
Muniz earned incredible popularity throughout the 2000s for his titular role on Malcolm in the Middle, while also venturing into film with movies like Big Fat Liar and Agent Cody Banks. Shortly after Malcolm wrapped in 2006, Muniz announced his retirement from acting and subsequently ventured in race car driving, performing music, and managing a band called Astro Lasso. And aside from a recent stint on Dancing with the Stars, Muniz is taking it easy with his partner Paige Prince. They currently co-manage a specialty olive oil shop in Arizona called Outrageous Olive Oils and Vinegars.
I'm Frankie Muniz.
And I'm Paige Price.
And we are the owners of Outrageous Olive Oils and Vinegars.
Number 2, Cary Grant. Grant was one of the finest leading men in Hollywood history. He could do it all, from suave romantic leads to screwball goofs to the dark and introspective characters of Alfred Hitchcock. Grant eventually retired in 1966 in order to raise his newborn daughter Jennifer in peace. By then, he had also grown disillusioned with the direction of Hollywood, believing that the golden age, for which he was a major part, was ending.
All right, but would you mind if I put on something more formal?
He soon transitioned over to business work, becoming a director for both MGM and Fabergé. He also spent a lot of time traveling to Monaco, where his good friend Grace Kelly, herself retired from film, was literal royalty.
Oh, no, isn't that amazing? The police want me in jail, my old friends want me dead, the cat wants me out of town.
Hey, some people just want to live a normal life, and that's perfectly okay. But our #1 pick is kind of shocking. Before we unveil her, here are some honorable mentions.
Lemonade stands everywhere, cracker jack bends, belly air.
I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
As long as Zazu goes with you.
No, not Zazu.
You still want to sail, Your Majesty?
The house on the cliff. Yes, Audrey. We will sail.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Audrey Hepburn. Among the most esteemed of leading ladies during the golden age of Hollywood, Audrey Hepburn was the first actress in history to win the BAFTA, Golden Globe, and Oscar for the same film, doing so for her role in Roman Holiday.
Hello.
You made it with something all right. You never had your
I'm sorry, just a joke.
We've never had your hand.
Okay.
Later, she would star in acclaimed films like Breakfast at Tiffany's and My Fair Lady. But Hepburn decided to leave the spotlight behind in the late 60s to focus on family, and she gave birth to her second child in 1970.
I don't even want to own anything until I can find a place where new things go together. I'm not sure where that is, but I know what it's like. It's like Tiffany's.
While she never quit acting altogether, she devoted much of her time to UNICEF and visiting countries like Ethiopia, Turkey, and Vietnam, eventually earning the Presidential Medal of Freedom for her efforts.
Why not? Them she lived with would have killed her for a hat pin, let alone a hat.
Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 celebs who left fame. No. Bye! Sorry. I'm stressed because I'm like, yes, I'm buying Lady Gaga tickets. Okay. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Audrey Hepburn certainly lived an interesting life. What do you guys think? Who was the most surprising to you? Let us know in the comments below or tweet me at Phoebe_WM. And check out this video.